Up out my forest, they looked into my room. I was only 4 years old, I didn't know what to do. I was playing muscle man with a friend, I think the dude was named Vernon. He saw the M16s and stepped away from the curtains, and they kicked in the door. This is the DEA. They saw my father, and then they fucked up his face, and they cruised up the stairs with their M16s. They busted into my room and scared the fuck out of me. I saw my mama, I said, what the fuck's happening? She said, we're busted. I said, what the fuck does that mean? She said, for growing the weed under the basement floor. I said, the plant that dad smoked. She said, but there's more. They're gonna take up our house, they're gonna take all your toys, they're gonna take away data, they're gonna put them in bars, they're gonna take all our money, they're gonna take all your cake. The next day was my birthday, I'm not being fake. These motherfuckers, they're called the DEA, they're called the CIA, they're called the NSA, and today they listen to everything that you say, but you don't give a fuck, you just go about your day. They keep a fire on everyone and we pretend that we're dumb. We sell all our metadata, it's worth more than a sum, but they don't give us back none because they know that we're numb. We got some stupid motherfuckers that just want to be safe, and they'll give up their freedoms, man, they'll give up their say. They'll spend $1 million on education just to join up the slaves. You're not American.
You're not American. Welcome, brave thinkers. We are anonymous.
No, Manu.
We're
not anonymous.
We're anonymous.
I will shut this stream down.
We're
not
dangerous
anonymous.
Thoughts, and we're anonymous. And we're coming to your house if you don't
Lose
send us
the mask.
And we're coming to your house if you don't send us money. Yeah.
You look like Cell from Dragon Ball Z. That's what you look like. The evil guy that gets his ass. Yeah. No.
You look like a drug narc going on a TV show. Ratting out all your buddies.
Why does everybody say I look like a cop? I don't get that.
Cop? No, I think he said the opposite.
You look like
No,
a
he
narc.
did. He said a narc. And a narc is a cop undercover. Like I look
Yeah,
like
okay, well, you
cop.
look like a Russian police officer with, the shit over their face when they're.
Russian police officers do not smear shit all over their face, and I will don't
Well, they
listen
might
to Tyson
if they're into that
about all that propaganda. Welcome, brave thinkers. This is Dangerous Thoughts. We're here, and we fearlessly plunge into the turbulent waters of controversy, exploring the untamed territories of subjects deemed often too risky to talk about. But we're fearless. We fear no topic, no concept. Each night, we unravel the strands of what society deems perilous. And you join us in our relentless pursuit of understanding, to delve deeper, to challenge assumptions, to have discourse. And you're not a mere spectator. You can join the show at the link down below. You can join the show at the link down below. I made a rhyme. Wasn't that cute?
Yeah, it was.
Until I called out the cute points, right? And my teleprompter ended. It ended with Labyrinth of Dangerous Thoughts. You're in it. You're in the labyrinth. Then now this is what I do on Dangerous Thoughts. What I should have is like a stack of notes, but we just have me and Tyson and stack of notes, me and Tyson getting that together. Come on. It's never gonna happen.
If you weren't like 10 states away, that would be kind of hot, but okay.
Yeah. So what happened this week? Not much for me, really. I don't know about you. Did anything happen interesting with you this week before I go into my monologue blurb?
Oh, well, they're not a sponsor yet. I hope they will be someday. But right across the street from my house, Barrel One Winery. Every Sunday I go over there, have a couple glasses of wine. I'll have to get them as sponsors. Put them up here. Put the logo and everything.
Put Barrel One in the link below, and they could send us a couple bottles of wine for the show. I wouldn't mind that. Of Hollywood.
I've had my couple bottles of wine, so I think they should be sponsors officially.
Yeah, I don't. I used to be in Hollywood. Does YouTube? Do YouTube people always drink? Because Hollywood people drink. Like everybody on sets and TV shows.
I think YouTube's the stoners.
Almost everybody drinks. So YouTube, everybody smokes weed.
What was it on Sunday night at the end of the shoot? Was it called the martini shot or the
the martini? They call it a martini because that's when everybody starts drinking.
Yeah,
it's true. And that's been that way in Hollywood for a very long time. So It's very hard to be an alcoholic in Hollywood and not die, which is what I want to talk about. I watched The Dark Side of Comedy, a Vice show, and I watched the Chris Farley episode and the Andrew Dice Clay episode. And I also watched a bit of the Roseanne episode, but for the first two guys, I lived those lives in a way. I was a bit of a Chris Farley in my early 20s when I had some success. I partied hard with all sorts of excess and bad things. And so I could relate to, trying to keep your Hollywood career alive at the same time as you're trying to kill yourself. And it was tough. But small towns all over America, I grew up in racist America, right? And there were small towns all over where my hippie, peace-loving weed dad was hiding from the true evils of this country, the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, all racist as well, by the way. Alphabet motherfuckers that will come for you anytime, and they will. It's just a matter of time. They'll come for you. And I was hanging out with, like, as a young kid, like 10, 12, I was hanging out with the Mexicans and the black kids, and they were like the only 2 Mexicans and 2 black kids in my small town schools. And I watched the racism in this country firsthand in the 80s and 90s. But in the 80s and 90s, in comedy, and this is what this show brought up that I thought was so cool, the 80s and 90s were full of performers and comedians and even movies in Hollywood that relied on humor that was racist, homophobic, and misogynistic. And in my mind, people like Chris Farley doing the fatty fall down thing, Roseanne doing the pissed off housewife, Eddie Murphy was very, very homophobic. Turns out he was a homosexual anyway, and he was so homophobic. So this was a time, right, in our country. Andrew Dice Clay went, over the top with, it started with, oh, I'm a fucking prick, I'm a Jersey asshole. But it became a rally by the time he became a rock star of comedy. And so in my mind, some of those guys are heroes to me, and maybe not on purpose, but inadvertently, they showed America how truly fucked up we were. And the blacks, the gays, the women right now, we've made leaps and bounds since I was a kid because of the strong backlash that comedy provoked. And the people of this country fought back. And I think that's cool. I think that comedy, can change our culture in a way when the people get involved. And that's what's cool about stand-up is people get involved.
And it's happened for decades. Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker on All in the Family, but I mean, he absolutely was not a racist. Carol O'Connor was not a racist, but he played a racist, and he played a racist in a way that allowed us to make fun of racism, to look at racism as something to be shunned, something to be laughed at, something to be, oh, you're a racist, you must be an idiot, like Archie Bunker, right? Like he played it he did.
He
played it for that.
But if you were a smart guy, like if you read books, if you weren't a Philistine, you got it. But if you were a dumb mother effer, which a ton of Americans are, and it's getting worse and worse, you didn't get it, and then you were like, yeah, that's my kind of guy. And that's sort of what happened with a lot of that brilliant comedy back then. So today, lots of, Christian faggot hating gun nuts still alive, lots of racism from blacks to whites, from whites to blacks, but not nearly like the 80s and 90s. And the generations below mine are so much more in touch with their sexuality, their humanity. I think it's beautiful. I think it truly is. And having said that, I'm a complex person, and I do believe that we are in danger of going too far with this idea that you can't say this or you can't say that. So this is the thought that I wanted to bring up on Dangerous Thoughts to begin the show. I think being woke is also can be a form of elitism. The idea that somehow because of your thoughts and your beliefs, you're better than other human beings. And the woke revolution, which kind of started cancel culture, I would argue, might not be such a good thing. The ability to laugh about each other's quirks, our idiosyncrasies, our cultures, it might be something that humans need, ? I'm just putting the question out there. I think some of the woke folks need to loosen up just a little bit. I would consider myself woke, but I also like a little bit of cultural comedy and quirks and people not to take everything so fucking seriously that we can't have a little bit of fun with our
There's a
humanity,
balance, isn't there? There's a
Yeah.
balance. There was the the Bill Cosby and the where if you're raping 100 women, maybe there should be some consequences, right? Then there's the opposite, which is where
maybe. Of course.
30 years ago you use the N-word, and now 30 years later nobody will buy your yeah, we need to be culturally sensitive, we need to be aware, we need to be, but at the same time,
Responsible to
nobody
people's
is
feelings.
perfect. We've all done things that we regret and in our past, but today, unlike back then, today everything, social media, everything is recorded, it's there, it's in history, and somebody can look back 30 years ago, oh, he
yeah,
took
you're
this joke, or
easily
he did
labeled
that, or he
by what you said on the
This-
internet 20 years ago.
there's a
or something.
balance. Woke is a
Yeah.
good thing, but it's only a good thing in balance with the rest, in harmony with everything else.
Like, I'll give you an example. I made a movie called Fifth Passenger, and I produced it with this bitch that I fucking hate. And look, I love women, but this woman was
That's a good way to
terrible.
start. Yeah.
Well, I do love women, but this particular woman was what I would refer to as a bitch. She was a woke bitch, and she would come on set and she would do things like she would bring all the cast together and all the grips and the sound guys who like love eating cheeseburgers and love drinking beer.
She was a
after show.
woke bitch. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. I'm just
Right?
saying she was a woke bitch.
No, I'm just saying this girl, she would come on set and she would bring everyone together and she would go, "Hey guys, guess what we get to do today? Today we're having an all vegan lunch. And we got cups for everybody and water instead of water bottles. So if you could just throw your cups in the trash and use the water container, we'll all have a safe and better earth. Isn't that exciting, everybody?" And I was like, don't shove that in the whole crew's face, you woke.
You, John Denver, we're gonna have a sing along. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a jump, but this is the last part of the stupid monologue that I wrote today. I stole this from Elon Musk, but this is the complex. It's as complex as his metaphor, because his metaphor is about war. And human beings always, of course, we would say, wouldn't it be beautiful if we could end war, right? And Elon says, but something that we could wish for that sounds beautiful might not be so beautiful when left up to us humans. Because what would be the consequences of a warless society with the way the world is now, China, America, Russia, and all the lies that they tell us about all these nation states that hate each other and communism and blah, blah, blah. Would humans do a peaceful earth right? Or would it become something like maybe even more evil than a little war? It's a good question, I think. Katie says being woke is a whole lot better than being a bigoted twat. No doubt. I agree. I absolutely agree with you there. I hope I didn't I hope I wasn't like trying to champion
No, and I agree with you, Manu, that woke is a balance. There's the extreme right, the extreme left.
WEAF mean for the dumb old guy?
What the actual fuck?
What the actual? Gotcha. Or
actual.
I'm guessing that's what it means.
She says to me, I speak my mind honestly all the time, and people don't like it, then complain about being fake. What the actual fuck? Kisses. To me, someone who is honestly woke would concede that all humans are equal, and being aware in no way makes anyone anything more conscious of the ills of the world. Yeah, no shit, right? So let's let's allow ourselves to laugh. I think that's the only point I'm trying to make is some of these woke folks. I call them snowflakes. I borrowed that from the right wing people. They say snowflakes. People that are like so hurt by jokes or by the wrong word or the wrong turn of phrase or me saying woke bitch. I hung out with this woke bitch. I produced a whole movie with her called Fifth Passenger, and I had to be in love with her on screen the whole time we were producing this movie. And I hated her, and she hated me. So, it was horrible. And she made me eat vegan food and drink from only one cup during the whole shoot.
Well, again, any ideal can be taken to an extreme. For me, I'm woke, but woke meaning I'm aware of bigotry, prejudice, etc., but not to the point that I need to dox people or call people out or put people on the internet and say, not to that point, but enough that I manage my life and I'm aware of bigotry and racism, and I try to fight it in a good way, not in a super,
not in a super
political
Nazi way. Like I don't
right,
like
right.
Yeah.
Again, you can go too far in one way or the other. Absolutely.
Cool. So anyway, there's the end of the monologue. Somebody else just said something cool, and he hadn't been on before. Can I read his quote again, Cassie? Can you pull that up? The definition of woke varies on your political view.
Yeah.
Barney Evans, you're definitely saying something there. But
And
for me,
by the way,
it's
Barney Evans is one of my family members, so I appreciate
cool.
them joining. My uncle
The
Barney.
best way to fight an ideology we deem unsavory is by example.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun. Like, some of our best comedians, I think Dave Chappelle is one of the best guys around at doing racial humor that doesn't I mean, I'm a huge fan of that guy. And then the woke crowd and the LGBTQ crowd, which I'm a big part of. Well, I'm not a big part of. I'm just a single entity in that crowd. But boy, did they get on him for making fun of trans people. And then he did this special that I thought was beautiful, and he left the olive branch out there and said, hey, I have trans friends, I have gay friends, I have black friends, I have white friends. I'm just making jokes. And even told this story about this beautiful comedian that he used to know that committed suicide. And I thought it was wonderful. And it was shocking to me how many Americans just missed what he was trying to say about peace, love, care, and harmony, and let comedians be comedians. But we'll go from there. Collectively, humans are incapable of making the big decisions and coming together as one unit. They're too conflicted. I agree with you, Katie. But all we have is conversation. I wish we could just be telepathic and then just understand each other and feel each other's pain. But all we have is this languages that we use. So it takes a while to find each other's point of views. So tonight we have a special guest named John Hulsey joining us. John Hulsey likes to think of himself as a good man living a great life, but really he's a white, racist, Nazi, homophobic.
Oh,
no, I'm
would you stop?
That's not what it says. He resides in trouble. He resides in San Diego with his husband Rick, where when he's not at his 9-to-5 job in healthcare, working on whatever home improvement project his 1929 home requires. I feel you there, man. Oh boy, don't get me started. Or trying to write, he can be found on a sunny patio somewhere, enjoying the afternoon and a big spliff. Oh, that's not on there either. Shoot. John told. And I got some notes. So John Hulsey actually wrote a book called Mindful Living, Nurturing the Positive Mental Health. My co-host Tyson is holding up a picture, and there's a picture of John on the cover of the book. It sounds really interesting. We just got him as a guest a week ago, so I haven't had a chance to read it, but I want to. Let's start out with bringing John Hulsey from backstage. Hey, John, how are you? Thanks for coming on Dangerous Thoughts with us. Coming
when you
on
said,
to.
when
Thanks
you-
for joining us on Dangerous Thoughts.
when you gave me that first introduction, it reminded me of those same 80s talk shows where they would say, today we're going to be having a fair and balanced conversation. We have a black person and we have David Duke. It's like this person, and David Duke says, I don't think these people should exist. Let's talk.
Let's
I see you,
talk.
Jenny
Let's
Jones.
start.
I
Let's
see you,
start
Jenny
there.
Jones. God, Jenny Jones. Yikes. Yes. So no.
You know
that is
what? You shared a story with me backstage. I'll share one with you. My parents, while I was in the womb, were actually at the Jim Jones compound. Believe it or not, they've told me that. I'm a hippie kid, so I was raised at all different communes. And my dad actually brought me to the Love family, if you've ever heard of the Love family, who also became a big cult. Brought my mother to the Jim Jones. You said Jim Jones, right? The guy that had everybody drink the Kool-Aid?
said Jenny Jones.
Oh,
the talk show host.
Well, Jim Jones is so much cooler. He killed like 90 people.
I know, but I mean, how many people did she kill just through the slow attrition of race?
Probably
Just
more than 90.
so many.
Yeah, you're right. But you told me backstage before the show and that this book, Mindful Living and Nurturing Positive Mental Health, was not your first plan for. Is this your first book?
It is my first published book. Yes. And
Okay. And it wasn't your plan, right? So you said
It was
that you
not.
sort of stumbled into writing this book. So tell me the story about how that happened.
I did stumble into it, and I have always considered myself a writer, and I believe if you write, you're a writer, and it's not about if you're ever published or produced. And I wrote a play back in 2000. I wrote a play that was produced here in San Diego, and of course everybody has that novel in them. And so as I've been writing, I found that I was getting frustrated with my writing process wasn't clear or wasn't working, and I was getting distracted, and I had all these problems while I was trying to write. And so I started, as I found good pieces of information, I started sort of categorizing them and logging them all as, oh, you know what? This is good for my mental health. This is good. This will help me write. This will help this one. And then as I started getting into it, I thought, wow, I actually am building more of a book on mental health than the actual book I'm still fucking trying to write.
Yeah. So you're like, fuck this book. I'm going to go straight.
Yeah.
To the
I'm like,
mental
you know
health
what? This one is resonating. This one is writing itself.
and
I
helping
think-
you at the same time, probably. So why not spill it on the page, right?
Absolutely. Take advantage of it. It's like, I'm learning from
Yeah.
this. And it was a big hurdle for me mentally to get over, the idea that I'm not an expert in this, but you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be open to thinking of things new, to thinking of things in new ways, and to also be willing to stop arguing with yourself about about every thought you have, right? That
Yeah.
and I'll
I have a
just
big problem with that, actually.
Well, part of
The
the thing that
self-doubt machine,
yes,
the
100%.
ego machine.
100%. But even with something as simple as meditation, I was in the Marine Corps. I'm still friends with these Marines today, and one of these Marines he's Greg, super big on meditation and the power of it, and I used to struggle with, well, damn it, I'm doing the meditation thing, and then like 6 seconds into it, I'm like, oh man, did I leave
I gotta go to did I leave the kitchen door open? Did
Right,
I get
but
enough
then-
mustard for the fuck.
Right. And then I would do now let's spend the next 6 minutes. Not damn it. This is why I can't have nice things. This is why I can't just relax into meditation. And I'd work myself up into this frenzy instead of realizing, oh,
I'm
okay.
supposed to be chilling out and letting that
that was-
go. Yeah, I can't meditate either.
Yeah. So that's really what sort of turned me into this book of things I was trying to adopt into my life. I'm like, yeah,
I try to
is
meditate and I want to punch things like within minutes. I want to just break shit. So have you succeeded at all in moving forward in your meditational practice?
Is
that part of the book?
I have, and
So how do you get past all the anger? Because
Well,
I'm so pissed off.
I was just gonna say,
So
I think
angry.
purists might disagree that I've managed to meditate at all, because there are more ways in my head, in my mind. There are more ways to meditate than just that perfect Zen focus. You might do things like
A good fart. Wonderful meditation. I mean, a good fart is a nice 1.5 seconds, sometimes 3 seconds of pure bliss, right? I mean, come on.
And there's the fallback and the pushback and the
then the smell comes along. I'm sorry. I interrupted you, but still, I like a good fart. My bad.
You can do things like meditating while you're sweeping a driveway, while you're, just letting yourself be in the moment, and whatever thoughts come through, let them sit there, let them come in, let them go out, and don't beat yourself up. So that's, if you find that bliss in farting, hey, who am I?
I love farting. I love it.
You know what?
The funniest thing to me in movies is when a fart and a boner and shame are all added to the scene. You got me.
John, I have to stop here and apologize. He's speaking from experience. So
no, but listen, I mean, tell me. All right, there was a new movie out with Nicolas Cage. Did you guys see it, where everybody started dreaming about him?
I did not.
Either you. Oh man. So everybody starts dreaming about Nicolas Cage, and he plays this dorky writer guy, and he's not. No offense, we're all writers here, so we can call ourselves dorks. I'm a dork. I know Tyson's a dork. I don't know about John, but he's at least more mindful than me, thinking about more than farts and boners. But let me finish the story. In this movie, everybody starts dreaming about Nicolas Cage. So then he meets this young girl, and she's been having all these sexual dreams about him. But he's not a sexual man. He loves his wife. He's probably hasn't had an orgasm in 10 years. He's not into cheating, but he finds himself at her house, and he goes over to the couch, and she wants him to play the dream with her. And she goes, reaching for his belt, and he's all nervous, and he farts. He farts, and then he says, "That's healthy. I'm just a little nervous." And then he actually has an orgasm in his pants while the woman is trying to undo his belt. And then he gives this shame face to the camera and then runs out of the house. And that's pure comedy gold to me. When a man has a boner, farts in front of a woman or another man that he loves, and he gets loaded with shame. You have to find the humor in that.
It would be funny if you weren't telling the story of my life, which I would appreciate you not doing in future. I told you that in confidence. I can't believe you actually brought it up here.
He came over and I had a boner and he touched it to my pants and then I farted.
Also,
I saved the underwear. They're still stained. They're in the drawer. Anyway,
believe it or not, John, it's people watch this.
I was just thinking that has got to be the reason Tyson is actually not allowed back at Home Depot.
I'm not allowed back to work if the boss is watching this. I'm done.
Yeah. No, but okay. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but so you were saying about. I did mean to interrupt you. I'm not, because I don't know. There's something about a nice, fart that, because the pain starts up high and and when it finally is a release, it's sort of like meditation. But you were talking about meditation and how you found a way to help people meditate. Behind the stage, you told me a little bit about making things easier on people. So how do we make it easier for people to meditate?
First thing, take the pressure off. This whole idea of meditation, this perfect Zen bliss that, you just sit there for a moment and then all of a sudden there's, dancing clouds around you. And like, this is bullshit. Like that, if someone can somehow get there, that's great, but I cannot. And I don't think most people can. I also don't think you need to. I think what you need, what is helpful, what is beneficial is whatever you can do to just slow down the racing thoughts. And sometimes what that means is, oh, this is what I'm thinking right now. Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm done with that thought. And not beat yourself up for the next 10 minutes about, oh, darn it, I was supposed to be meditating. And now, oh, damn, there I go again. When you start chasing with intensity, then you just, you lose the thread. You lose the whole thread. It's like, what are you doing here?
Because that's what we do all day, right? Especially with the new smartphone devil generation of smartphones and social media and the constant phone calls, and everybody expects you to get back to them right away. And our minds are racing 24/7, right?
To the point where I will pick up I know people do this. I have picked up my phone to do something specific. Oh, look, notifications on so-and-so. Click through, read through, scroll. Now I'm looking at this. An hour later, I put my phone down. Put my phone down. I'm like, oh, I picked my phone up to send Tyson a text, which I did not do.
Which you did not do. Yeah, you get lost in the casino of everyone else's wants and desires from you.
Exactly. Or even my own, that I'm just scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through threads or wherever that. So that's the idea behind the purposeful, right? Is it's okay to just stop and have a specific thought and want a specific thing.
I almost feel like that's a version of, when you walk into the kitchen and you're like, wait, what did I come in here for? I've done that with my phone. Like I pick up my phone with a purpose, right? I was going to do something, and then notification, look at the notification. And by the time I'm done with all that, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I pick up my phone for? Was I going to go to Amazon? What? Like, it's a version. It's the electronic version of I walked into the kitchen. I forgot what I came here for.
Right.
And I don't mean
you only remember when you walk into the living room. Oh crap! That's why.
That's why
you go back there, and then your phone is sitting on the shelf in the fridge where you left it.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. Like you said, there's zero moments anymore for peace and quiet. I had my phone.
We used to 20 years ago. We would be in the supermarket. We didn't have our phone in our pocket, and we would just stand there in line and think about things.
Yeah, we would read the covers of the magazines and all the trashy rags.
Or during lunch, we would just eat a sandwich and appreciate the sandwich and listen to the breeze. And like that doesn't happen anymore. I think it's very dangerous to us as a species, honestly.
It is the multitasking where we are no longer allowed to just be.
Yeah.
For a moment, to just be and not obligate ourselves to somebody else's need. Like you say, that we have this demanding instant culture. No, as a matter of fact, if I put my phone down and I don't pick it up for a while, you don't get to get ahead of me. You don't get to reach me until I want that to happen again.
So setting boundaries with your own cell phone.
Setting boundaries with your life and being aware of where these distractions are coming in. And the other side of that, though, is if you're going to stress more about, I try to put my phone down for 30 minutes a day, but then I just stress about, okay, then that's not your solution. And that's okay. Like everybody isn't going to be able to just set their phone down, take their smartwatch off, and just exist for 30 minutes. If that causes you more stress, find a different solution.
Well, you know what I tried? And I would love to find a different solution. I tried on Sundays. About a year ago, I decided I was going to work my work schedule and deal with all the things that I deal with on a creative level and on a work level 6 days a week. Sundays, I was going to take off, turn off my phone, and just not, that's it. But I would find when I got back to Monday, even on a Sunday, I would have so much shit to catch up on. I would feel like I was way behind. And so that didn't work for me. That just added more stress to my life. So
Sunday wasn't relaxing for you anymore.
And I kept thinking about like, oh, what's piling up?
Yeah.
And that phone literally is like heroin. I know this because I lost it in Germany once. I flew to Germany. I lost my phone on the plane. And for 4 days, I was without my phone. And I literally kind of went into withdrawals like a drug addict would go into withdrawals. I was just constantly thinking about my phone and how I was going to get it back, and should I go buy a new one, and blah, 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 blah. A fan had actually got a hold of the airline for me. This was at a Star Trek convention. And while I was on stage talking to people about, life, this fan ran up and said, "Hey, I have your cell phone." And when I got it, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? What is this, Cassie? What are you doing?" Forget it. When I got my cell phone, I literally, it felt like, and because I'm an ex-opiate addict, it felt like I had just got a fix. It was like, oh my God, my phone is back. Oh, yes. It was literally that, like, oh, everything's going to be okay. I've got my cell phone. And it was at that time, and this was 10 years ago or so, but that I went, oh, these things are really dangerous. These are hurting us. And so I wonder if something in your mindful living book, and I'm not following the questions so far, I will soon. But if there's something in there about how to deal with this cell phone life that we've all gotten addicted to.
I got my cell phone about 10 years ago. I was behind on my payments and my phone was turned off, and I ended up getting a store-bought flip phone, and I felt like my life was cut. I could not deal with the fact that my iPhone, back then it was an iPhone 3G. It was like it was like your arm, like an amputation. It's an amputation, right?
You felt you had a less inferior arm,
Yes.
inferior phone, and it wasn't enough to fulfill your desires of addiction.
Well, I was in the bathroom, and I didn't have my phone, which is we'll get into that.
Yeah, that's hard.
Lots unpacked there, but
You know what? Okay. All right. Now,
we're all human. I feel
right,
you.
we talk about, right, that the phones are the devil and all that. But I also had a moment over the weekend where a Marine friend of mine, she lives in Italy, where she took a picture of where they were at this winery in the Amalfi Coast, and a friend from Oklahoma and a friend in LA and a friend and I were all chatting, and I had that thought of, okay, this is so cool. Like, there is still goodness to come out of that, right? That in a moment we were able, literally around the globe, to all be enjoying the same quick story and the same quick photo and all that. So that's another, that cautionary note, right? It's not the phone, it's your behavior. If your behavior with your phone bothers you, it's not the phone, right? Because 100 years ago, it was all those people reading the newspaper on the train that's going to ruin the civilization, and no one will talk anymore. It's always something. So,
oh God, I hope you're right.
Right. It's if you are bothered by your behavior, then find small ways to make changes. But blaming everything on the phone, that.
Well, it's not just the phone. It's the Facebook and the social media and the Instagram and the YouTube and all the people. I watched a wonderful documentary a couple years ago. I forgot what it was called. I wish I could say the title right now, but it was all about the people that wrote the algorithms for Facebook and for Instagram. And the algorithms really are written like a casino. They're written to addict you. They're written to that, and all these people that have written the algorithms for Facebook and all these different companies were saying, hey, this is bad news. This is some evil shit that we developed. We don't let our kids use the phone. We don't give our kids a phone till they're 16, 18. We don't let them participate in social media because it just polarizes you and brings you down your personal tunnel. So I feel you when you're saying there are some positive things to the cell phone. But at the same time, that there are some like truly evil things that some of these companies have done to try to hurt us and sell us things and make us think things and etc.
Well, right. And that, like you said, mentioned earlier, that urgency, right?
Yeah,
I texted
that always
you an hour
urgency.
I texted you an hour ago. Okay. I spent
and people write hello ... Hi,
right.
Hello ...
Like, yeah, I will get back to you. This telephone exists. My cell phone exists to make my life easier and better. that if I'm, an hour before I reply back, if you're that
my
concerned about me,
decision.
come knock
They
on my
have
door
that.
then and ask me a
Yeah.
question in person. That it, like, for me, I spent probably the last, I don't know, maybe 3 years with COVID, with Trump presidency, curating my Facebook friends list because my Facebook experience wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't enjoying it. It didn't make me happy. This is not good. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And I cleaned house, and not of all anybody with one particular opinion or another, but if you people aren't bringing joy and happiness into my life this way, then this is not the way I want to engage with you. Maybe we're still friends in real life. Maybe we're not, but we are not Facebook friends because the you that's here doesn't bring me joy. I'm not happy engaging with you. So we're done here. And it's very purposeful choices. And that is the same thing we talk about in the book, that you're making purposeful choices for what brings you, if not happiness, at least what might bring you a little peace.
I love it. And Katie, our listener, just said you had to take charge of yourself and regain your discipline that social media and technology helped you lose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, John, yeah, we just all have to remind ourselves. Yeah, you talk about, and I've mentioned it before, make things simple. It's just, and like meditation, and like, what's it? The Saturday Night Live used to do that sketch. People like me. Affirmations.
Right.
You need to tell yourself that my life is mine, and no matter how many messages I have, I'm not going to stress about that. I'm going to get to them when I feel like getting to them.
Let me throw one thing out right away. Stop apologizing when you do come back to your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was in a movie. Oh, sorry, no, I'm not sorry.
I really enjoyed that movie.
I was doing something in my life. And, it's the thing that, like, I turn my phone off, the ringer off. When I go to bed, people are like, oh, I was going to text you. You can text me 24 hours a day. My phone doesn't ring. Well, what if it's an emergency? I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a fireman. Like, it's like on those job applications where they say, in case of emergency, where do you call? Don't put my cousin.
Not John Hulsey. Fucking call somebody else.
Like, if there's a problem at 2 a.m., that's something that the guys or doctors are going to sort out. That's my fireman next door is going to sort it out. I'm not going to do something at 2 a.m. If you really need me again, someone will be knocking on my door. And so we start with stop apologizing for that. Like, I don't owe you an apology, and I'm not being rude about it either. Just, oh, hey, here's the answer. Where were you? Hi, I'm answering now. Where was I? I was enjoying a movie. Want to talk about that?
Want to talk about
that? I was living.
I was living, right? I was enjoying an adult beverage or two on that patio I talk about in sunny San Diego. Like, you don't have to apologize. And when you stop apologizing, that
you
takes
gain a little bit of your own personality back in your own life.
Stop it takes that guilt and shame that we talked about. Like, how dare you? Oh my gosh, listen, I'm so sorry. I didn't see your note until just now.
It's a very interesting thing, though, that we've done as a culture, right? Because of the smartphone, we all expect that all of our friends, literally everyone we know, and listen, I know thousands of people. I know most people know hundreds of people, everybody in life, for some reason, we do it to each other. I'm guilty of it. I just texted you, like you said, an hour ago. What the fuck? Why do we all suddenly think, 20 years ago when we had answering machines, it was like, get back to me tomorrow. No worries. I left you a message. Yeah, well, but for some reason now it's like, I want instant gratification. I want you to call me back. And why didn't you call me back? And I think what you're saying about don't apologize is really important, that we all start doing that. And not only don't apologize, but if somebody's pressuring you, call them on it. Like, hey, this wasn't the way we used to treat each other. I'll get back to you when I can. I respect you. I love you, but I might need 2 hours of lunch with someone I love today, and I didn't want to pick up my phone. No apologies.
That's exactly. And you start setting expectations with people that, there are people that I have, they're friends that I have, they will message me on Facebook Messenger if it's completely not urgent at all. Hey, did you see this movie? Did you see this? Have you heard the song? Because they know I'll look at that whenever I get around to it. If it's something more urgent, they'll text me. And so that's that part of that, setting expectations, right? Don't text me, oh my God, you need to look at this right now. What is it? It's a funny cat.
It's a funny cat. Oh, just give me a break.
Okay.
I've seen funny cats.
Yeah. That is a Facebook post, if anything. I will.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really love about Facebook. And I know they're all evil in so many other ways, but one thing I loved about them is it really created asynchronous communication, meaning you post something on Facebook when you want to do that. I will come 2 hours later and scroll through my friends and see what's going on. So I didn't have to be there present in that moment. We didn't all have to huddle around for two hours ago to hear you share a story.
But Barney, the same thing he's saying right now, John is saying, with an answering machine, we could listen to the message and decide whether to pick up. We can still do that with texts. We can still do that with Facebook messages. It's that we all have just decided to put more pressure on each other because of this so-called ability with these smartphones to do more with your day. And I saw it coming 10 years, 15 years ago. I was the last person to buy an iPhone because I was watching all my friends work harder, faster, more, do more with their day, expected to do more with their day.
Yeah, very much.
So I like it. Set your boundaries and start simple. So one of these questions I really like is you joke about being the peoplest person who ever peopled. What does that mean? The peoplest person who ever peopled.
In interviews, right, at work, someone's like, oh, I'm a people person. And then you're like, well, yeah, but the people you're a people person about are assholes. Like, you're not a people person. That doesn't, you really need to make sure people are specific when they're talking about whether or not they're a people person.
I'm a people person, but I don't like people that are chopping other people's heads off.
Well, you're kind of an asshole. So that's exactly.
And I'm totally a dick, but I'm the kind of dick. This is how I think of myself, honestly, and I'll tell you. I'm the kind of dick that I think you can respect and love. I have a big fucking heart. I'm a total dick. I say horrible things, but I don't really mean them. And my good friends, my true friends, like you, Tyson Strasberg, I love you, man. And you can see through it. I know you can. It's my defense mechanism to try to find people that actually love and actually care. I'm wondering if it's find more the people important. That respect.
Is it more important for you to have a big heart or a big? Never mind.
Tyson, you're
a big mouth. A big heart or a big mouth.
A big mouth.
That's what I was going for. Sure.
I think all those things being big are good. As long as there are so many people that in my life, I used to know this man named Jack Harrer. And Jack Harrer was very responsible for legalizing marijuana as medicine. And he was a big Jewish man, 260 pounds. And his way of saying I love you was, get over here, motherfucker, do some acid. You need to do more LSD. You're a pussy. That was his way of saying I love you, but he was such a wonderful man. He was a hippie culture 1960s guy. And I know you guys are like, Marine, Army, kind of straight shooter folks, but Jack was the hippie of hippies, and he would beat you up and he would put you down, but it was really his way of saying I love you. And everybody that loved him knew that. And I hope, beyond hope, I even pray about it sometimes to the God brain, that people see through me and know that really, I have a heart and I'm not just an ass. So hopefully that's true. If it's not, fuck you. Okay. So do you have a personal motto?
I do have a personal motto. I think I shared this with Tyson before. My personal motto: find the best people you can and rise to meet them.
Oh, that's cool.
And that has held me in good stead my entire life. Like, find the best people around you. Yeah.
There's something I want to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Now, John and I both work for Kaiser Permanente, and we're both remote workers, so we work from home. And there is a chat channel for large business accounts. And every day, John puts a post in there, and I have come to know them as Johnisms, uh, but they're little quotes that he puts every single day. Be your best self, you know, et cetera, et cetera. John knows these more than I do, but these little inspirational quotes every single day. And John, I don't know if you know, but every time you post one, I go and I look at it. I don't always heart it. I don't always thumbs up it. I don't always acknowledge it, but I always read it. And there have been times that it has brought, tears to my eyes, or that I was feeling a certain way, and then I clicked on his little Johnism and little quotes
And that's
that he
beautiful,
does.
right? Right?
It
People that do
is.
that for
It
people
is.
and
It's
surrounding yourself
uplifting.
with people that
He
do
does
that
it
kind of
every
thing.
single day. I love it.
I appreciate that. I have been doing that for about 2 years now. Every day, something new. And I want to be clear, it is not this pool of toxic positivity, like just smile, life's perfect. That's bullshit. I mean,
That's for sure.
One of them is
Sometimes life is really hard.
yeah. One of them was enough with the best, whatever. How about just being your favorite self?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
That's enough, right? How about that for today? So
Do we know the Johnism for today? Is there any chance we could pull it up real quick?
oh God,
Would it be difficult?
No, it's not. It's not difficult at all.
And
So my husband just had surgery, some pretty major surgery on Thursday, and we had, again, when I say people, that I'm a people-y person, like when I decide to go to a concert, I don't go to a concert. I just get 50 of my friends to come and go with us. That's what I mean when I'm a people organizer and gatherer and collector.
Cool.
But so it shouldn't be a surprise to me that I had 2 people flying from Oklahoma City to stay the weekend with us and make sure that cook for my husband and I, and take care of us, and that people brought food all weekend like it was a Jewish funeral, and
want to show you that they love you. And
and so I wanted to call that out, that but the other one, the one I put just yesterday was there's always work to do, but sometimes that work is to rest. Today's work is rest. That's what I needed. I needed to not, oh my God, there's other stuff, miss of it. No. Actually, no, I didn't need to do any of that stuff. I just needed to rest, appreciate the people that were here visiting, spend time helping my husband, because I'm a saint, martyr, really, angel, hero, sure. So,
author, just keep on
author, playwright.
But how important? Think about it. Whenever you write a list of tasks you have to do, how often is rest on your task list?
That what?
Oh, come on, every night. It's not on your list. It's just a natural thing, man. You got to get rest.
But when do you consciously, purposely put aside that time and say, you know what, this is me time?
Yeah, people are more likely to budget time for a rest than rest. Like it's not.
Yeah.
That, and I am a very, I'm not going to say OCD, a little bit. Like I'm a schedule person. I'm a list guy. I like checking things off. But I also have that realization that, oh, guess who didn't get to this one today? You go to tomorrow. And that's okay.
Really quick, I'm going to do another call out. Lapis.
I see your haircut
Lazuli,
and I see your shirt and
Lapis Lazuli.
You're a little OCD. I'm just calling you out on it.
Really quick, Lapis is my auntie. Kate.
But I don't even know you.
I want to say,
fan. Oh, Lapis is your auntie. Wow, a lot of
my auntie Kate.
Tonight.
So,
I love it.
Kate and Barney. Yeah, I've got my uncle, my aunt. I got a bunch of people watching. So
hit me with the personal motto again, just because I forgot it.
Find the best people you can and rise to meet them.
And rise to meet them. That's beautiful. Okay, what does it mean to live as if?
That's a big one. That's how I started writing. That's how as if I was actually a successful author. What would that look like? Act as if I matter, because I do. Act as if the interaction I'm going to have with someone matters. Act as if, and it turns out it does. We have this idea that you are going to have an impact on every single person you meet. And it doesn't mean you're going to change their destiny. It just means, wow, you could have been a shit to that person, or you just could have been really friendly. And you might be the only friendly person that clerk hears all morning. The only person that actually smiles and looks them in the eye and says, "Oh, good morning to you as well." You're going to have an impact on people.
As if you're, I call it a wake, like driving in a boat.
Yes.
You leave a wake.
Yes.
Every person
Yep.
you meet, everything you say to them, everything you do to them, the way you treat every single person in this life leaves a wake behind you. And if you leave a positive one, you have no idea the beauty that you've left behind in your wake when you're kind.
Right.
So
act as if it matters. Act as if you matter. And really, but trying to do anything, right? If I was a playwright, what would that look like? I guess I would. Okay, what would that look like? Oh, I would be writing a play, but I don't know how to. I guess I'm just going to start learning. I'm going to start writing, because if I live as an author, I need to write. That's what an author does.
There's plenty of how to write a play for dummies. Start there.
Yeah, you don't have to know how to do something to just start doing it. And I don't mean
teach yourself. It's an what do they call it? Autodidactic or something like that, right? To teach yourself to just do yourself.
Yeah, and I don't mean, again, trampling through the world like a pompous jackass that, "Oh no, I know everything better." Just let yourself do stuff. Let yourself make a mistake. Let yourself try something. And if it's something you really enjoy, try it again and get better at it. And if you don't, there's this other piece too, that people have this idea of, you're supposed to only do something because you either monetize it, or because you're a pro at it, or you're an artist, or no, maybe just for 2 weeks, I wanted to.
In the capital programming that they'd like to program.
Right. But maybe all I wanted to do was see if I could figure out how to do this stupid crochet thing. So I bought a bunch of the stuff and played with it for a couple of weeks and put it in a bag, and we're like, and we're done with that. It's not I failed. It's, oh, cool.
Okay. I tried to make a blanket. That was fun.
Yeah. Next. Yeah. So I just gave the stuff away and off it goes. And what's up next? Maybe try something, try it again and again, and keep trying. And if you enjoy it for a time, you don't have to become a clogger for the rest of your life, for God's sake. If you just want to see what that's about, go for it.
Hey, no, I've Cassie. Sorry, and I'll let you go, Tyson. Keep that thought in your mind. Do we have the trailer for From Fat to Finish Line?
I have.
That's where I was going.
Teaser, at least.
I have the 41-second clip that we played last week.
Okay, so we can at least do that. So hold on. Let's not watch it yet, John. You also starred in a movie called From Fat to Finish Line, and can you tell the people a little bit about what this? It's a documentary, right? What this documentary is about,
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. It is. It's a documentary, From Fat to Finish Line, and I'm one of 12 people in the movie. It's about fitness, weight loss, doing hard things. So 12 of us lost a combined 1,200 pounds.
Wow.
And then we decided to run a relay race from Miami to Key West. So it's 220 miles, I think. And you do it in 2 vans, and you each run, each of you run 3 times in order. And I was runner 12, which meant I was the last one on the team to run, which also meant that I got to run us into Key West while the rest of the team was standing there waiting.
And as a people person who always peoples, how did you find these 12 people?
Well, you know what? A friend of mine, I had done one of the relays before, and a friend that I knew from a fitness website, she had reached out and she said, we're trying to pull a team together, and I know you lost a bunch of weight, and I know you run. Would you be interested? And of course, why, yes, pile in a van with people for a long weekend, and be sleepless through the night and run through the streets and run through Miami, and hell yeah, I'm in.
Right on.
And so when we did that, one of the runners, she is a producer, and they had produced a band camp, I think was a rock camp, a documentary about music camp. And she's like, this is a story here. Like, this should be a film. We should actually record this. And then next thing you know, we're in a movie, and we have like 20-some thousand fans in a Path to Finish Line community on Facebook. And
who are you running against? Is everybody trying to lose weight that's running this race?
No, we had all lost the weight at that point. We had all lost the weight, but the races are designed. It's 200 miles, but they're designed for everyone to be able to participate. If you are a team of super fast people, you might not start until Friday at 3 p.m. We were going to start Friday at 5 a.m. because they want everybody coming to the finish line about the same time.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so it's the exact opposite, but the exact opposite of most races where, the fast people just end and disappear and the slow people make their way sooner or later. It really is a whole different community with these Ragnar relay races and other relay races where, I talk about be willing to not be good at something. If you start at 5 a.m., you know what that means? All the fast teams are going to pass you before the end of the race. That's built into the race. So you have to be okay with, why are these people passing? Oh, that's right, because they're fast.
Yeah, this race is about having fun and accomplishing something, not competition, rapid competition.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's show the teaser. Cue it up. Let's eat.
My name is John Hulsey. I am 45 years old and I've lost about 40 pounds. After the Marine Corps, it was such a subtle creep. Every year was just another pound or two. And then suddenly it's 20 years later and I'm way heavy. I'm 40, 45, 50 pounds overweight and I'm not sure how that happened. Suddenly I'm this person that I don't recognize.
And download it on iTunes, Amazon. Where else is it available, John?
It's available for streaming on Amazon Prime right now.
Okay. That looked really cool. I'm definitely going to check it out. I love anything positive that tries to get people motivated to smile and pump their hands in the air while wearing a pink shirt running down the street. I love it.
Well,
that made me happy just looking at you.
The pink t-shirt said, "Don't laugh. This is your girlfriend's t-shirt."
Fantastic.
So,
I just bought a pink t-shirt that said something about worship the devil, but it's not the same thing. Wow. It said something about the devil. I don't remember what. I don't even believe in the devil. So, okay. All right. So we've talked. I want to talk a little bit more about. Oh no! Shoot! Geez, we're running late. I didn't even realize we're already 8 minutes over. Do we have any questions? Do we have?
We have a couple of speakers.
All right. Cool. So if anybody wants to ask John a question, let's bring our first guest up. Hello, Katie. Unmute yourself, my love. Not my love, but I love you. And
good morning, my darling.
It's like 2 or 3 in the morning in England, and she stays up to watch the show. Katie, what time is it?
Katie, if I was as wealthy as I want to be, I would jump on a plane right now and get 12 people and run across England with you in a relay race.
I would love that.
I'd bring John with if he would come.
You would have to push me in a wheelchair because I currently can't walk.
That would be fun. You got a wheelchair?
Wait, Katie, why can't you walk? What happened?
She's got back pain and she's
no.
Oh, did you tweak your? Oh, you broke
a very
your
bad sprain.
Oh, no fun. They give you any good drugs?
Tramadol.
Wheelchair wheelies.
Tramadol. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
But no, I just wanted to come on and basically say to you congratulations for that collective weight loss and on your book. It is not an easy task writing. It isn't. But well done you and congratulations. It is a very big achievement, your first novel getting out.
Thank you very much.
And speaking about mindfulness and meditation, I do a hell of a lot of it. It is how I have managed to attempt to keep my mental health in check over the years. Because I'm not ashamed to admit that I do have mental health problems. And that has ruined parts of my life in the past. But I realized several years ago that I needed more than just help. I needed to take control myself. And it's been a very long process, but mental health incidents are very few and far between now. I always recommend meditation to people. I do all different kinds of meditation. I meditate with crystals. I do sleep meditations, not that they work for me. Hence why I'm up at 3 a.m. But healing meditations, and I also meditate to send healing out to people as well. I was just wondering, with you, what process would you normally recommend to people to start off with? Because I never know what to say to people when they ask me. And
you mean with meditation?
Yeah, people who want to start meditating and start the mindfulness road, to help themselves. I'm always worried that I tell them the wrong thing, because right. I can't articulate my words very well a lot of the time. Just ask these guys; I come out with the wrong thing all the time. But so, what would your advice be as a good starting point?
Okay, well, thanks for the question. And first, congratulations on whatever you are doing for your mental health, because if it's working for you, then it works. And I think that's a big thing that people try to compare themselves to other people of, well, I'd never do therapy. I'd never do this. Okay, then don't. That's not your path. So good for you for finding your path and being open to trying. Sounds like different things. I wrote a book, right? The recommendation I have for people.
Nurturing Positive Mental Health by John Hulsey. It's available in the description below.
That's the one. And Katie, what I recommend for people is to start small and build incrementally. And when I say small, can you sit there for 15 seconds and just focus on nothing? Well, of course, if you start off, you're like, no, I just spent 15 seconds worrying about what does nothing feel like. Okay, then maybe that's not maybe just gentle traditional meditation isn't your thing. Like I've talked about, whether raking leaves or, spraying down a deck, or like actually a physical action, letting yourself just be in the moment of what you're doing. And what I think works for people is to remind them to look in hindsight. Oh, I guess I was relaxed during that thing I was doing, wasn't I? That people may not recognize it when they're in the moment, but remind them to look back. Okay, well, what are the things you did today? What did you accomplish? Was there anything you felt good about doing today? Oh yeah, I washed my car. Okay, well, that in itself, that is a physical repetitive gesture that you would have been doing. And what did you think about when you were washing the car? Oh, I just thought about, I couldn't get this scrape off of here, and this was dirty here. And so you didn't worry about the bills and the doctors and the work stress well, no, I didn't. Congratulations. That's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that you let people know, try anything and everything. There's no wrong way to start.
Yeah, I put a comment on earlier. I often meditate when I'm doing the dishes.
Right.
Yeah.
I can get into a really good rhythm.
Any task is a beautiful meditation.
And I often play music as well, regardless of what it is. I just have to be careful that I don't
break dishes.
But no, I have been recommending things like that to people, so I'm really, really glad of that. Just like little menial tasks and things, and starting off very small.
Right. I always recommend. I'm sorry, John. I'll let you go, but I've saved my life a couple times with just deep breathing meditation, where I watch it go in my nose and out my mouth, or vice versa. And it doesn't really matter, a lot of times that's the thought. Oh, I did it the wrong way. I went out my mouth and in my nose. Let that thought go. but just watch it go, watch the breath go in, watch the breath go out, and then whatever thoughts you have, try to have them, see them, let it happen, and then try to clear your head and just watch that breath go in your nose and out your mouth.
Right. What you just said, let that thought go. You didn't say quickly chase that thought away.
No,
or it becomes an active. No, it's just okay.
Okay. I had that. Let it go. Focus back on that. Because what we really are, and this dawned on me meditating once, is we're much like the sea creatures of the ocean. We have but we're in an atmosphere that's just a little thinner than water. And we do the same things that all those beautiful things under the ocean do. And one time when I was deep breathing, meditating, I really realized that there was this thin atmosphere, that these trees and all these plants and all this beautiful life and this around me that was DNA encoded to take in CO2 and give me oxygen, was giving it to me outside the hotel room. And I was, it was a gift from these things. And I had that thought and I went, that's a trippy thought. That's a neat thought. And then I let it go. And I was having a real health crisis, and the deep breathing, I think, really saved my life that night. So deep breathing meditation that's where I tell people to start, because that's where I've had my best experience meditating.
Good.
We have 2 more people tonight, so let's jump over to who's next, Mala or Sammy?
Mala.
Hey, Mala. Hey, motherfucker.
And I cannot stop thanking Mala enough for my mom passed away 4 weeks ago. Mala stepped up, took over the co-hosting, and Mala, we love you.
Oh, I love you.
And Tyson, we love you. How are you doing with your grieving? Are you okay? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Mom is going to be celebrated 2 weeks from tonight. So Mala has also agreed, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, to co-host, while I will be at my mother's memorial.
Beautiful.
So again, Mala, thank you so much.
Yeah,
love the hell out of Mala.
Tyson, I got to tell you, I've watched someone personal in my life who lost their mom almost 2 years ago now, and they grieve, man. Do it. You know what I mean? Like, talk to her, go to the grave, go wherever you sprinkle the ashes, whatever you're doing. Don't be afraid to feel it. Feel it. You had a long, beautiful experience with your mother. And I believe personally that she's in the infinite, and you'll see her again in the infinite, that all our souls, especially mother to son, are connected.
There is that special connection, right? Mother to son. And she's still here. She's in the ether. When I go to bed at night, she's here. When I wake up in the morning, she's here. I don't want to get too much into it. I'm going to start crying, but
that's okay.
I feel her.
I don't want to force you to start
around
crying,
me.
But that's okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you're letting the emotions come. So Mala, what was your question for John?
Sorry, I've got a cat in my face.
I thought it was a penguin. Wow.
I was just curious. Did the movie and the book writing happen simultaneously, or did one inspire the other?
You mean, was he running down the street, jot notes on the book?
Unless he's like video.
Shut up, Manu. Quit being a dick. Let him answer that question.
No, the movie came first. And the movie for me, once I filmed the movie, I was able to sort of step away from that, and all the production and all that happened with the producers. But what did come out of the movie was building this large community. And because we were the 12 stars of the movie, it was kind of fun to build. Like, I keep saying, like, I'm in this weird social media thing where I'm not famous, I'm not popular, but I'm not an influencer of any sort, but like, I have, 1,000 Facebook friends that I actually engage with, that I know all of them. And so having lost the weight and filming the movie and working with this community, that really did sort of put me on the path that, okay, well, turns out all that shit in my head wasn't just because I was overweight. Nope, turns out there was just a bunch of crap to work through. And so that led to, one sort of, once I cleared the decks of all that, it's like, oh, I guess there's nothing else. It has to be my own mental health. Okay, maybe we focus on that a little bit.
And you haven't told us what you were trying to write before the mental health book took over. What was it?
It is still what I'm writing.
Cool. So what's next?
I will. I mean, you're creatives. You understand this. Years ago, this sentence just popped into my head, fully formed, and I have been building a book around it ever since. And the phrase was, his voice was soft and low and full of places to lie down.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow. So it's got to be a love story.
I thought, oh, right. I'm like, I want to know these people. Who are these people? Where did that come from? And so I've, been crafting this, this novel around that phrase. And who said it and who's he talking about? And
is there a main protagonist that you can share with us?
I cannot.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
I cannot. Not yet.
Yeah, we'll let people know about it when you get it out. That's cool, man.
I will tell you though, the play I wrote, Goodbye David, was about a man and his wife and her parents and his male lover, and it actually was produced here in San Diego, and I was on stage for this before. I wrote this character in for me, but when I bring that up as we're talking about, like, be willing to make mistakes and things you don't know, right? I wrote this play and I didn't even think about it because I never written a play before. I ended one scene with someone over here and then opened another scene where they were over here. And the director that I was working with said, we're not going to be able to do that, right? Because he's got to be over here when the scene comes up. Like, oh, he goes, how do you not know that? I'm like, I've never written a play before. She goes, well, all right. Yeah. So you get the people who will help you, right? So, so I've done some of that with the book. Like, I've done some chatting with some people that I care about and whose opinions I trust. And, the other problem though, is that every idea spawns a dozen more ideas to where there's then analysis paralysis. There's just too much to think about and I can't. Yeah. So very much, okay, put that down on a list and 20 years from now, I'll get to it. That's not what I'm working on right now.
But it's a novel. Yeah.
But it's a novel. It is a
novel. So you have plenty of space and plenty of time to tell these stories.
I do indeed. Yes.
Mala, was that good? Did you have another question? Okay, cool. We have to. I guess we do. Oh wow, people are just stacking up. We got to get this show done.
We got
Sammy, go ahead.
Hi, Mala. Thank you.
Hi, Sammy.
Hello. So I've also dealt with my mental health a lot. I've been in and out of mental health units for nearly 10 years.
Loser. I'm sorry, I'm such a dick.
Ignore him.
I've got mental health issues too, and so does my wife. And
that's why he does stuff like that.
That's why I do stupid shit like that. Like, Sammy, you're
ignore
not
him, Sammy. Please continue.
Sammy, go ahead.
So I've also got like health conditions and medications that make you put on weight and then make it really hard to lose weight. How did you go about losing the weight without it completely overpowering your mental health?
Wow.
Such a good thought. Such a good question, because you start chasing one to the detriment of the other, right? Like, oh, I'm supposed to take this medication and this medication, which, like you said, prednisone or these steroids or whatever they put you on, and then you're gaining weight. The trick for me was about finding something I could do consistently and still enjoy it. And I started with walking, and then I built up to running. And I never was a runner. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps. You ran where you had to and when you had to, but it wasn't something, I was never part of the run for lunch bunch. I wasn't that kind of idiot. But then I just found that, oh my God, I actually like this. And as it turns out, you don't have to be good at running to be able to run. When you enter a race, for example, when you enter a marathon, you're racing the exact same course that the winners are racing at the same time. They're done in minutes, right? But you're on the same course with them. No other sport lets you do that, right? You can't just show up at the Grand Prix and drive one of their cars or something. But you get to run on the exact same course. And the back of the pack, like I always say, if you're watching a marathon or you're watching any race event, if you want to see excitement, watch the start, watch the fastest people. But if you want to see emotion, determination, grit, passion, watch the back of the pack. Because those people, every mile, every step is a story. Every finish line is a story. It is unbelievably empowering. And I that's where I would want to walk. I'd watch that. So I'm passionate about running in that, again, you don't have to be good at it. And there's no, like, if you walk a 25-minute mile or you run a 5-minute mile, you went the same distance. So the suggestion I would have would be whatever you do, whether it's running, walking, any of the video games that were, like the Apple workouts and things like that, whatever you do, anything that you find that you can do consistently, don't let yourself compare to other people. Like, oh, they're faster, the times, the leaderboard and all that bullshit. Do not get tied up in that. Enjoy the walk, enjoy the jog, enjoy the run, enjoy getting out on a bike or, if you're enjoying those things, just enjoy them and not, oh my God, but I did this, but I didn't lose a pound. I actually gained a pound. Oh, okay. But did you allow yourself to do something physical and feel good about it? That's your win. And honestly, with enough of that, pounds will come off. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel better. Whether the pounds come off or not, you will be a person.
Serotonin will kick in too eventually.
100%. But also you'll be a person who did the thing, right? Fat people run too. And I was very big about that in our movie. It is not from fat to skinny. It's from fat to finish line. You can run, you can walk. If you can't walk, you can do shoulder exercises. You can do it. Like there's something you can do. And no matter what you choose, I hope you find a passion for it. And I hope you find pride in doing it. And please do not compare yourself to other people. Feel better than the you that felt yesterday. Maybe you'll feel better next week. Maybe you'll have some days that are not quite so great. Just keep at it and keep doing something that makes you feel good.
I'm with you, John. Comparing yourself to other people is always a gigantic mistake.
Right. And I'm
just
right because
you.
Right. And I know that was way more of an answer than you were asking. I'm so passionate about that, though, about people finding joy in their life.
And being John and being Tyson and being Sammy and being Cassie.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm jealous of your books behind you. I'm a big book fan and I love your library. I'm staring at it, wishing it was mine, but not in an envious way, just in a
not in a woke Me Too way, not in an inappropriate way. He doesn't want to do anything inappropriate to the books. Just read them.
Read them. I just want to read them, depending on what book is in there.
With consent. That's all.
Thanks.
You don't want to get paper cuts, Miano.
Yeah.
Don't want to get paper cuts.
We have gone way long. I said I was going to keep this show short, so let's end it with one.
What's up? That was everyone tonight. Hey, great show. I'm loving this. John, you're cool. I like you. Awesome. 2 thumbs up.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2 things. Number 1, the meditation, and then number 2, the weight loss thing. I just recently got done playing a video game called Power Wash Simulator, which is exactly that. You are pressure washing cars, trucks, you did the entire pyramid, ancient stuff, houses, stuff like that. It was so fucking relaxing of a
and
game.
Satisfying, right? Satisfying.
Dude, I would play 4 or 5 hours straight and just be pressure washing stuff and just no music, no nothing.
Just have a pressure washer that gives you a little weight in your hand that it feels like is this like a full submersive thing, or is this
no, this is just
but still yeah, hey man.
That's all it is.
So cool.
Yeah, but you turn the sound up, you actually get the rumble of the thing. You can feel it and all that. It was so relaxing.
That is so cool.
It is. And it has this little story that goes along with it. It's just text on the side and all that. And anyway, long story. The mayor's cat went missing. The entire town was looking for the cat. The mayor had to leave town. He said, "Hey man, if you find the cat, you can keep it." That was about halfway through the game. And then at the very end, once you watch the credits, there's a 30-second cut scene where you go to the back of your van, you put away your gear, and there's a box with a note, and it's the cat with its kittens.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
that was the end. And then
what's the game called? Power Washer? No,
Power Wash Simulator.
Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah. It's a PC game that was ported over to the consoles.
That's
Anyway,
fantastic.
I dig it though that you
is,
can power wash the pyramids. I'm in.
Yeah. There's a couple ancient structures. There's all kinds of stuff. It's really a lot of fun. Mono, you don't have time to play it, but anybody that does,
No, you don't.
I do too if I want it.
Oh,
That's what
goodness.
John Hulsey has told me today. If I want time to
And you
play
don't even
that
have to
game,
be good at it.
I
You
can
don't
do it.
even have to be good at it
Nope.
to enjoy it. But
And if
but
you're
Chris,
texting me, I am playing my video game and it's okay.
and Chris,
Right.
you were talking about, right? Like, it's satisfying though, right? But
Oh yeah.
Katie's played it. Hamster exercise allows her ham to roam free if you have to catch him. Is she talking about the game?
No.
She is. No, she's not. Okay. That's all right.
No, Power Wash Simulator is exactly that. And anyway, great game. Next I was going to talk about the weight loss thing. I lost 100 pounds in 1 year. And I was around 280. I might have even gotten up to 300 at one point. But anyway, I got a mountain bike. I started riding it, blah, blah, blah. And I actually lost 40 pounds by doing that. I was doing about 10 miles a day out here in the country. And then after that, I got a job. I started working third shift up at the Circle K, and the amount of walking that I did,
I bet.
I went down to 145. I started at 240, and then I was like 145 pounds 1 year later. 3 months after that, I was 130, and I got down to like 123.
But that was after the methamphetamines.
No, just having to ring them up. But yeah, and then
123, man.
and
I
then-
haven't been 123 in a long time. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck 88
same
or-
here. And I was getting a little too thin, so I
Yeah.
changed my diet and all that. And I still walk and I do
Started
calisthenics.
eating 123. You crazy man.
Well, more and better, But now,
Yeah.
I walk. I
Power
live
washing the pyramids over and over and over.
Right,
again.
right, over and over. But no, I live on 10 acres, so I've got plenty of room to walk around, and I do calisthenics every night, just sitting here, like once every couple hours or so, I'll stretch the hell out of my arms and my legs and stuff like that if I'm just sitting here playing Power Wash Simulator. And I can maintain my weight by doing that.
Good.
Can I say
After he
one
smoked
thing
the bowl.
quickly, and then John? Yeah, John, you can take it. And Chris, I'm sure you have a question. Maybe I missed it. But bike riding, I'm all for it. I saw this whole documentary on people that ride bikes, and
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 60. If you get up and start riding a bike, and 70 even, 80 even, and you just start going out, and it's been proven scientifically, a bunch of different tests have been done on people that ride.
Right.
And ride seriously, like every day or a few times a week. It is one of the most beautiful exercises you can do because you get to go out and about. You get to see the countryside. You get to see
Right.
wherever you're riding.
Go
But
down to the local
also,
park or something.
it exercises your muscles, your mind. It exercises every bit about the body
Yep,
that
especially
needs
your
to be
legs.
healthy. And guys that are like doing those like riding across the country on their 10 speeds,
That's my plan.
getting to that place, they have less health problems than almost any other people in the
Yeah.
world. It's been proven.
And if
You
you,
know,
can't
bikes are
ride,
cool.
go out and run. If you can't run, go out and jog.
Yeah, like-
if you can't
like
jog,
John
go
has
out
been-
and walk.
John has been telling me about
Exactly.
this running, but my legs suck, right? My legs are, I've got what are they called when you get
Varicose veins.
varicose veins, delirium. I forget. I can get blood clots in my legs. I have to wear those socks that go
Yeah,
all the way up
doing
past
his
my
shit.
knees.
Mm.
But riding a bike doesn't mess me up so bad. Running up a mountain does. So there's the right thing for everybody. But riding
But if
bikes,
you can't ride, walk, run, jog.
Yeah.
Get out
And-
there. Get
Yeah.
out in
yeah,
nature.
move, and especially in nature, because you'll find in nature, unlike some cities, people say hi to each other when they pass each other on the trail.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people
Dude,
say, "Hey,
people
how
say
you
hi
doing?
down
You need
here.
some
I mean,
water? You need some almonds?
it's
You know,
you know, it's
you
a
should
thing
see
here.
that waterfall back up there, or you know,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
fun
Oh,
to go in
sure,
the
sure.
park.
I know about those country roads. And would you like some almonds? How about some chlorophyll? Next thing
Yeah.
you know, you're back on the truck. I'm just
The last time I went jogging in Ramona, I passed somebody and they said, "Do you have any Grey Poupon?" And
Yeah, when you said
I
chlorophyll,
guess nobody remembers that commercial.
see. I'm a hippie kid. I was thinking the green stuff, not.
Grey Poupon. Anyway,
Oh,
moving on.
Chlor-
Mustard.
were you saying
Chloroform.
chloroform or chlorophyll?
Chloroform.
Yeah, the stuff you use for
Yeah,
yeah.
knocking people out and killing
Quagmire
them,
has a lot of that.
putting them. in
Yeah.
Easy
blood.
sleep.
Yes,
is
he
what
does,
the
Chris,
BT
exactly.
But
calls
even
it.
then,
Easy sleep.
your spirit will move on from this beautiful avatar that we call a human being. It will be a traumatic experience, but it will be over, and you will be a part of the earth again, and you will turn into a sapling and grow into a tree, and maybe your descendants will walk under that tree and look up at it and pick a leaf from it, not even knowing it's grandpa.
Okay,
Sorry.
I feel like you might be watching a little too much Hometown Homicide or Murder in the Heartland or whatever else is going on these Lifetime murder channels.
Yeah, my girl watches that stuff constantly.
My husband is watching it right this minute.
My heterosexual life mate watches nothing but murder documentaries and like spycraft documentaries. That's her big thing.
So she's planning to kill you and get away with it.
Yes, she is. At some point, if I die mysteriously, it's Valerie Marie Boggs. Look into her. All right. So, John, we talked about your book, Mindful Living, and it's a long title, and I don't have it in front of me, but Mindful Living and I have it now. I do. Mindful Living, nurturing positive mental health. But what's funny is we've only talked like about 2 topics with mental health, and I'm sure that the book is filled with much more than losing weight and the other topic which we've talked a lot about, which was just meditation. And so I highly recommend, even though I haven't read it. I'm looking at John's face on the cover, and if Cassie, if you can pull up that picture again, look at that dude. Look at his eyes. Look at his smile. The guy, he's sold me. He's a good person. He wants to help himself. He wants to help the people he loves, and I believe he wrote this book because he wants to help you. So give it a read. I'm going to give it a read, and I hope that I can find some ways to be more mindful and enjoy my life a little bit more and stress a little bit less, because stress kills you. It really does. One of the biggest things that takes away from our beautiful life and our health is stress. A lot of people know that, but don't really know that. Stress is a big deal in our lives. It causes a lot of different diseases and problems with the heart, skin, blah, blah, blah. So stress less, and check out John's book. I'm going to read it. And then, John, if I haven't offended you too much, I hope we can come back after I've read it. I'd love to talk to you more after I've read some more of your thoughts instead of
Again,
just
I
2 things we got time to discuss.
I did serve in the Marine Corps, so it's pretty hard to offend me.
Okay, cool.
No,
That's cool.
no, be clear. I'm not laying that down as a personal challenge for you, like a gauntlet.
Damn, because I was
Challenge
going there.
accepted.
Yeah.
I know, it's like as soon as those words came out, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'd love to be back.
And Tyson, you're like one of those guys that goes in the boats and you're like not a real
I'm not a
Marine.
Marine. I'm a Coast Guard.
He's
and
a
we'll
seaman.
spend a
Yeah,
whole
Coast Guard.
episode about Marines
So
and Coast Guard and how John thinks he's better than me, but we'll
so
come
this
to
is
that later.
Tyson, in case no one's ever said it, thanks for the ride. Why is my Uber driver so angry?
but this is proof, right? This is proof. Polarization does not have to be the way of our nation. You guys are Coast Guard and Marines, and you guys seem to be very good friends and very good friends from work. I can sit across. Look, I'm not a lefty liberal. I'm not a hardcore conservative. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think we're all that way, and we all can treat each other kinder and better, and that'll also lead to better mental health for all of us. So I want to thank
Yes.
John Hulsey. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us tonight on Dangerous Thoughts. We'll see you next week. Cassie, do we have our guest list up, or we
No,
don't
we
know
do
who's
not.
joining us next week? All right, so we're going to talk
It
to
could
our
be
booking
you.
It could be you next week on Dangerous Thoughts,
We'll
but
see.
definitely join us, and we'll have something interesting to talk about. We always do on Dangerous Thoughts. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tyson. Much love and care, and hope you all have peace, love, and respect in your lives. See you later.
Take it to them. Ruin their motivation to survive. Ride is like a jungle, hold the rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, you need collapse in the way. Hey, gorilla hearted, I be in my chest to stay alive. Take it to them. Ruin their motivation to survive. Ride is like a jungle, hold the rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, you need collapse in the way. Hey, gorilla hearted, I be in my chest to stay alive.